My bad, everybody. I've been on mute. We're gonna redo this, but I'm going to have to be right back as my mom has left her phone at home. But basically, we have a flash flooding situation ongoing in eastern Indiana. Is my mic not on? What is going on? Hello. Okay, so you can hear me. All right, so we actually have a new alert, or not a new alert. This has been in effect for a while. I'm going to have to be right back, but we do have flash flood warnings in effect for parts of Wayne, Randolph, Union, um, Fayette, Rush, Franklin, Ripley, Dearborn, Ohio, Switzerland, or in Switzerland counties in Indiana, but also Carroll and I think that's Bracken County. Hold on. But I'm going to have to be right back. But for now, I'm going to leave this on our double box option. We have a live camera. This is a traffic camera in Richmond looking to the west. But I'm going. My mom left her phone at home. So that means I have to take care of the situation. But let's make sure that we have the county right before anything. Oh, Owen County as well. Let me make that 100% clear. Owen County as well. It's a widespread Carroll and Gallatin County. But yeah, this is a big time flash flood type of potentially big time flash flood event. But I will be right back. Okay, I have returned. I apologize for that. But here's the deal with these flash floods. So, some type of boundary is over here. Basically, a bunch of showers is just building off of it, and it's going to keep going, keep going, keep going. And you're just going to keep seeing rain building up from this. But that's my weather radio if you hear that. Okay, we actually have a new severe thunderstorm warning. So I'm going to go on strictly the radar mode here, real quick. And I'm just going to go over this for a minute. It's a severe thunderstorm warning. We get these just about every day in the summer. But we have basically the reason this severe thunderstorm warning has been issued is due to observed quarter-sized hail. So we're going to go ahead and go to the date and term. Oh, well, that's not working very well either now, is it? Oh, dadgone it. This is in a radar gap. Okay, I don't think this is going to help us much. Actually, what am... That's why, because it's not... There we go. So there we... we're going to go ahead and just stick with um, Wilmington's radar. But again, this is a severe thunderstorm warning. So what this means is that either damaging winds is ranging from 58 miles per hour to 69 miles per hour. If anything above, we'd be on the considerable level. Or large hail ranging from 1 inch to 1.5 inches in diameter. So basically, what we have now is confirmed from emergency management 1 inch in diameter hail. And basically, it's right over Salina right now, going over Grand Lake, but going over all the communities involved with this severe thunderstorm warning. Let me get this on here. The radar on my phone's better at actually showing the locations, but anywhere just to the immediate north of Coldwater, Montezuma, Salina, Sleepy Hollow Acres, Wright State Lake Campus, Idlewild, St. Mary's, Northwood, Villanova, here in Thunder here at the house, Bulkhead, Southmore Shores. Let me make sure my mic is on. Good. Southmore Shores, South Shore Acres, Club Island, Woodhaven Mobile Home Park. That's a little bit tricky of a situation, but I think you're going to be fine in this situation. Montezuma Acres, Montezuma, anybody to the immediate north of Cartagena, Maria Stein, Minster, Fort Loramie, New Bremen, McCartyville, Kettlersville, New Knoxville, Moulton, and anybody just to the south of Wapakoneta. Botkins is also included in this, and so is Freiburg. Now, again, let me make this 100% clear. This is not a tornado situation, but over here, this is where Freiburg is. Right here took a very, very bad hit. I think you can actually see, yeah, on this satellite, you can actually see the damage, and this was back on March 14th, 2024. There's a famous video. I'm not going to show it right now just because we got other things going on, but a large, violent, borderlining violent tornado just went through here and completely destroyed the place. But I think what we should do is focus on what matters right now, and that's that we have this severe thunderstorm warning, and we also have the flash flooding situation. So I think what we should do now is go back to our flash flooding situation that we got going on in eastern Indiana and northern Kentucky. But here's the deal with some of these flash flood warnings, well, they are considerable. All of these are at the most of these are at the considerable level. So we have to really be on the lookout. The Whitewater River, I think this is it. The Whitewater is right. Is this the Whitewater? I think so. Let me make sure. Yeah, that is the Whitewater River. Okay, that this is just noise. For a second, the velocity on here scared me. It looked like differing wind directions, which would indicate rotation, but we don't have that right now. But we do have this flash flood warning, and it is a considerable flash flood warning, meaning that this is a considerable threat to structures. Floodwaters may start entering structures, more specifically to flood prone areas down by the river, down by the Whitewater River. Several evacuations and some displacements are possible. Not necessarily a certainty, but definitely a possibility. Several roads will not be passable, more specifically ones by the river, and this could be a life-threatening situation, especially for those that would drive in flooded roadways. But we can go here to flash flood safety. Turn around, don't drown when encountering flooded roadways. If you are stuck in floodwaters, call 911 right away. If you live in a flood zone, consider evacuation, especially since it's a considerable flash flood threat. And if the threat is considerable or catastrophic, you must evacuate to high grounds. More specifically, talking about if you are by rivers. So that's the type of situation we're dealing with. But we're going to go right back here. We're going to be back on the radar mode while I figure something out real quick. Trying to see if I can. Yeah, I don't think. Oh, wait. Yeah, that's not. I'm trying to get a camera of. Okay, so that's. Oh, okay. So, yeah, unfortunately, we can't really get a camera on this like I was really hoping for. What we can do, possibly, is maybe get a. That looks promising. So, this is a camera in Indiana that is looking at the upper right hand corner of the screen. This is a traffic camera. It's going to update every few seconds. I could also have it on video mode, but we do want to go and actually track this situation on the radar, so it's going to be tricky to do that and have this in video mode at the same time. We can go back and forth when it comes to that, but again, this is near the creek, so the good sign is that it's not looking like we have much of a backup in traffic. but we can we're gonna go ahead and go to live view full here, and we're going to go ahead and look at some of these traffic cameras. So yeah, no, not here either. Okay, the good news is looking through the Richmond area, I'm not noticing really any backing up of traffic, and that's a good sign. But really the biggest threat is towards Connorsville, as a river flood warning in particular was issued for that area. Brookville as well, but I don't think there's a Connorsville camera. So we're going to go back to the traffic camera, go back to the radar real quick. We may have one. Nope, we don't. Oh, we do. Okay. So what we're going to go ahead and do is we're going to go. There we go. Look at this. All right, so we now have a better view of Connorsville, but we're going to continue to look at this whole situation here. And here in a few minutes, we're going to go over a some of the damage that we actually dealt with earlier yesterday, as it was quite a significant event, and I'm noticing having this on the radar mode basically keeps me from being able to have our camera on. So we're going to keep this on the camera mode, and I'm going to look at, which I don't really need to look at radar right now. I'm just trying to find out how bad the flash flooding is. But again, we do have a considerable flash flooding situation across eastern Indiana. So everybody in eastern Indiana, just about, especially southeastern Indiana, again, you don't want to drive in flooded roadways. Turn around, don't drown when encountering flooded roadways. If you're stuck in floodwaters, you need to call 911. If you live in a flood zone, consider evacuation. If the threat is considerable or catastrophic, you must evacuate to high grounds. More specifically, meaning if you are by a river. Okay, so we do have that situation but yesterday, I mean, was very, very, very intense. We had numerous tornadoes. We had, if I can go back in time on the radar, it does not go that far back. But I did have some photos sent to me, and I'm going to have that on here in a minute. Why is that on? Hold on. Okay, we're dealing with a bit of technical difficulties right now, not significantly. No, we don't want to have the sound on. Okay. No. Perfect. Okay. So now we're going to go back to the radar mode real quick while I get these um, photos loaded up for you. So this is some photos coming in from Brooke Sexton, Miss Sexton, as I know her. But she was one of the monitors, or she was. I hate calling it the monitor, but she was like basically our babysitter in the college lounge at my high school. But she was driving through Fairborn yesterday morning, and she dealt with the squall line that went through. And I really don't recommend people drive through these, but again, sometimes you find yourself in bad situations and things just happen that way. So, but yeah, right here, this is some of the photos. This was a really gnarly photo, and I just missed it. I mean, she was close to where I was. But look at this. Look at this shelf cloud. So basically what this is a shelf cloud. Significant winds build up from the backside and it pushes the clouds outward and it comes down from the clouds. So it creates this really distinct shape like a shelf. And actually what I'm going to do is no, not that one. There we go. So I'm going to this helps you get a better shape or a better look at what this looks like. But I mean, this was quite a significant shelf cloud, one of the more serious ones we've seen. And again, we did have a very damaging straight line wind and tornado event. These were what you call QLCS tornadoes, or the squall line tornadoes, which we'll get to here in a minute. But more photos of the line. This, there you go. This was actually by the Kroger area, by where the Kroger is and where TJ Chumps is in Fairborn. I think we had a close lightning strike just a second ago here. N- yep. That was a powerful one. Again, we're still dealing with some thunderstorms this morning, and that's what's really amplifying our flash flood threat, which again we'll get back to momentarily, but I wanted to go over the damages and some of the photos that I received. But yeah, look at this. This is intense. And this was in the morning. You know, usually when we get these big bad lines of storms, they're in the evening. But we had multiple rounds of big bad storms, so it's really about which round. But all the rounds had all the threats: the bad winds, the quick spin up tornadoes. I mean, we had the whole ball game all day. Okay, and I think that's all the photos that for that or from Miss Sexton. I'm not. I feel weird calling the going by the first name right now. I'm sorry, but I'm going to go look at some of the other photos that I have received. So this was actually damage to a brick wall near the Holiday Hills neighborhood in Springfield. I do suspect a tornado went through there, and although the straight line winds that we were dealing with could have done the same thing, but I do think in this case it was a tornado. And our next photo here, this is to a. Ooh, okay, hold on. I'm trying to find a way to show this without showing any messages that I got because I don't want to, invade my own viewers' privacy. That's crazy. Okay, I think this is about as good as we're gonna get with this. But a tree fell down near a car. If that tree would have fell down just a little bit more forward, that could have been way more of a disaster. Looks like the shed took the beating just fine and it's still standing just fine, but I mean, that was again. This looks maybe more like it was straight line winds. It could have been the tornado. You can't really see it like the direction in which everything fell, but if it's all in one direction, that's straight line winds. If it's in a spinning pattern, it's quite clearly a tornado. But we're going to go ahead and go back. Hold on. I might want to go back to Instagram real quick. That's what I was on here. Um, what I had on here. Okay, we're going to go back to live view, and I'm gonna turn on my. Oh, I think my desktop audio is on.
So much,
Hold on.
so much freaking damage. We just got hit by a tornado. Are you okay? Where's Louisa? Where's Louisa? Where? Lulu? Are you okay, baby? I'm sorry. Hi, baby. I'm sorry. Hi, baby. Oh my god. Well, oh my god. This whole field is ruined. No. No. Oh my god. What are we gonna do? Oh my god. So much.
Yeah. That wasn't the easiest watch. I completely forgot how emotional that was. So my bad on that. But I I wanted to share that. I'm going to try to see if I can get the link to the GoFundMe or the. Is it a GoFundMe? Um, yeah, but this was in Mount Orab. It's an animal sanctuary. Oh, bless their hearts. That's bad. Um,
So much.
Venmo, PayPal. There we go. All right, hold on. Let me just go to the. Yeah, let's open up Studio here. And this will be in the description. Why? What's wrong with that? One-time verification. Gone it. Okay. What I'm going to do is on my Facebook, I'm gonna have the link to on my Facebook story. So we're gonna have that there. Um, yeah, there we go. I have it on my Facebook story. Go to my Facebook account, Jackson Watkins on Facebook, and we'll be good. Something happened for the second time, on my end. Somebody I know, a friend of mine, got hit by a tornado again. Not the same friend, but my goodness, how many people do I need to know that get hit by these things? It's almost like Mother Nature's playing with me, and I don't like the way she playing with me. At least it wasn't as bad as the last time. The last time it was a EF2, high end EF2 tornado. This time it was a way lower end tornado. But yeah, again, our flash flood situation continues. Our severe thunderstorm warning that was in effect for parts of Mercer and Auglaize counties, and I can't remember if it was for parts of Shelby County, but that has since expired, so all clear for that. Again, it was really just some quarter-sized hail, no big deal. We do this all the time. It's summer. Although, again, the tornadoes, we don't really deal with that. Now, when we do deal with tornadoes in the summer, it's the same type of thing we're dealing with, but um, still, this was a lot more crazy than what we usually deal with in the month of August. Again, we usually get our worst tornadoes in the early spring, sometimes fall, and then more of our spin ups in late spring, early summer. But this is like mid to late summer. I mean, this is some crazy stuff. I don't know about you, but Oh wait, hold on. Mount Orab. I thought it was Otway. That makes a lot more sense now. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to reset the camera view to the. Actually, what I'm going to do is I'm going to go to our flash flood safety instructions while I do a little bit of maintenance real quick. But what we're going to do is we're going to investigate and see if it was likely a tornado or straight line winds that hit that animal sanctuary. Because it could have been either or. Now, on her page, it says tornado recovery, and I don't blame her. I mean, most people would have thought that was a tornado. But here's the thing, it don't really matter if it was a tornado or not. It was devastating. And that's the thing, when we deal with big time straight line winds, that's why you want to take that seriously, because it can be like that. You could get what happened at that animal sanctuary, and even in the straight line wind situation, you can have quick little spin up tornadoes. But again, if I'm correct, where Otway was, it really didn't matter if it was a tornado or not, because it was like 120-mile-per-hour winds, anyways. Is this it? No. I'm gonna go ahead and mute my desktop audio real quick while I get this figured out. I'm looking for a radar archive site. Shout out Alfiria, he got me hip to this new little radar archive little program. Radar archive. I burn it. Oh, come on. I know. You know what? Nah. We're no, not that either. Okay. Yep. All right, so now I do have. Hold on. There we go. It definitely was a tornado that went through there, though, or I'm almost certain of it. But we're gonna go back to our viewing the radar. This is a little different radar mode. Williamsburg is there, but um, Mount Orab is right up here. But as you could see, the winds were about as high as they can possibly go. I'm going to zoom out a little bit. Just, uh, there we go. Okay, we're just going to have this completely zoomed out, I guess. Hold on, I'm trying. Yeah, this is fine. But looking up at this mode, we're at least in the 90-mile-per-hour zone, but we're really more between the 112 and the 134 at the highest. And that is why I say it really don't matter if it was a tornado going on or not. What was happening was enough to do that type of damage. And really, Mount Orab was one of the hardest hit communities. The thing is, a lot of people are going to talk about Columbus, and rightfully so, but um, rightfully so. But we also got to remember we got to talk about the small towns too. We got to talk about everywhere equally, which means I actually have to make a correction. Um, I should have did a little bit better, believe it or not. Yeah, I'm saying it. Roseville and Crooksville were hit very bad with flooding. I can't show the footage here because I can't be 100% sure that it's not copyrighted, but they were hit with some flooding. There was evacuations. I the reason I didn't really know what was going on because I was getting all the notifications about all the tornado warnings and the severe thunderstorm warnings that I didn't even know Roseville and Crooksville was getting hit as hard as they were getting hit by floodwaters. But really, I want you to keep your thoughts and prayers with these people because they are honestly probably dealing with the worst right now. It's kind of a split way between Mount Orab, Columbus, and Roseville slash Crooksville. Again, we also have Springfield, which got hit hard, and parts of Champaign County. But I mean, the damage in Columbus is terribly bad. And I don't know if it was all tornadoes or if a lot of it was straight line winds, but with the straight line winds on its own, it reminds me of the July 29th, 2012 derecho. It really does remind me of that. It's very reminiscent. And I was barely not like I was barely past toddler age when that happened, but to be totally honest, like this reminds me of that. I guess this is kind of my version of it. And I knew what was going on was pretty bad, but I didn't realize it was that bad. This might end up going down as one of our more costly natural disasters in Ohio Valley history and even Ohio State history and Indiana State history because they got a full blown derecho on the backside of this. There's another line that made it down there. Just a very, very heartbreaking situation, especially with what happened in Mount Orab at the animal sanctuary. One of my friends that now can't, that has to relocate for a few days. Keep her in your thoughts and prayers. Keep all these towns that have been affected. I mean, it's a serious situation and kind of happened so fast that I'm not gonna lie, it caught me off guard. what I think I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to check to make sure or to see what the extent of the flooding situation is. If it's not looking too terrible, dad's gone it. I apologize for that language. I was on my music Instagram account. I'm also a music producer, but that was a rapper's ad, which talented, but I apologize to the viewers for the bad language if you heard it. Um, yeah. Anyways, um, what was I going on Twitter? Sorry, man. Yeah, never mind, never mind, never mind. Ooh, okay. So you know what? I'm not gonna talk about that. Supercells just fine. And there goes my weather radio. Hold on. Okay, so I'm actually not going to be going anywhere. Hold on. I probably will, but we're going to go over this and then I'm going to head out. But there's definitely severe flooding in Cambridge City. Oh my goodness. Actually, yes, we are dealing with significant floods. I'm not going anywhere. But we're going to go over this flash flood warning. We have a new flash flood warning. This is going to be for parts of. Hold on, we're going to. We have a new flash flood warning. This is going to be for a good portion of Preble County, Ohio, and just about the entirety of Darke County, Ohio. So again, the entirety of Darke County, Ohio. If you're in Darke County at all, you need to go ahead and be or you are in this flash flood warning. Now, West Alexandria, Gratis, West Elton, and Verona and Preble County, you're not in this flash flood warning, but again, I wouldn't be surprised if just about everywhere in western Ohio would be under a flash flood warning at some point today, especially southwest Ohio. But again, anybody to the west of West Alexandria, Gratis, West Delton, and Lewisburg, and points to the west, you're in a flash flood warning. Again, a flash flood warning means that either rain gauges indicate precipitation capable of flash flooding, radar indicates it, satellite indicates it, or flash flooding has already been reported. Now, for our flash flood safety, how we are safe during flash flooding? Well, turn around. Don't drown when encountering flooded roadways. If you are stuck in floodwaters, you call 911 right away. Don't wait. Do it right away. If you live in a flood zone, consider evacuation. And if the threat gets to be considerable or catastrophic, you must evacuate to high grounds, especially if you live by a river. So, this situation, it is radar indicated. So looking at our 1 hour precipitation, I mean, we had precipitation up to more than an inch, up to 2 inches in some places, well into being 2 inches in some places. Yeah, Cambridge City, we can understand why the flash flooding situation is getting bad there because look, 1 hour, just 1 hour, basically between Strawn and Dublin and Cambridge City. Look at this, just getting close to 2.5 inches. Looking at the 3 hour, Lord have mercy, nearly 5 inches of rain. So again, this is something this is a big deal. This is a big deal that we're dealing with here. Again, there is flooded roadways in Cambridge City right now, and the mayor in Newcastle is saying that he has never seen anything quite like this in his entire time being or living in Newcastle. So, major flooding in Newcastle as well. Just about 5 inches, maybe more than 5 inches of rainfall. Oh my goodness. Yeah, more than 5 inches. That is. And from 5 a.m. to now, we have had up to 10 inches of rain in eastern Indiana. I mean, this is significant, y'all. I wouldn't be surprised. Well, I don't know. I probably would be because this, while yes, there is flash flooding, a lot of this is gradual flooding. But that's the problem. This flooding is not going to be going away anytime soon. Because if we actually go on we'll go right here. We just get more and more and more precipitation throughout the day. We actually might have more severe weather. Because look at this. Another line of storms may be moving through at about 4 p.m. So, 3 to 4 p.m. Well, really, when you count the whole area, we have the prefrontal stuff, but from anywhere from 3 p.m. to 8 p.m. if you count our eastern area, or areas just to the east of what's technically our eastern area, but we cover anyways because they're so undercovered. But yeah, I mean, so we might have more severe weather on the way. Again, just severe thunderstorm warnings. I don't think today we're really expecting it to be quite as bad. I could be. You know what? I'm gonna do the right thing and I hold on. I'm gonna go ahead and Lord have mercy. Sorry, something's on my arm. Yeah, this is our severe weather outlook today. We do have a severe weather index of 1 out of 5 for just about the entirety of our area. We barely miss being in the level 2 out of 5. Looking at our tornado risk, we do have a very low end tornado risk for parts of eastern Indiana. I know y'all probably don't like seeing that, but again, 2% risk within 25 miles of any given point. You're going to be okay. And if there's a tornado warning, you just go to your safe place. If you're in a mobile home, you get to the nearest non-mobile home structure and you'll be fine. Looking at our straight line winds, which is obviously going to be the main threat. Now, if you know anybody in Illinois, you might want to let them know, get ready, because they might be dealing with another really big day. And then we have a tiny bit of a hail threat, but past that, we'll be okay. Again, and we have a new warning that has just been issued, so we're going to go on here. Okay, so the Fayette, Union, and Wayne County, Indiana flash flood warning has been extended. We have numerous flooded roads, I just heard that. But again, this is a considerable flash flood threat, life-threatening flash flooding. Has been confirmed by law enforcement. And again, this is not like a tornado threat to where sometimes they can look at a cloud that has a funnel shape but is not actually a tornadic in any way. No, the flooding is very easy to spot. There is absolutely flooding with this. This is going to be life-threatening flash flooding. So, and here's the thing, the other side of Fayette County is in a flash flood warning. So the entirety of Fayette County is under a flash flood warning right now. Let me make sure, yep, the mic is on. But again, this is considerable, so um wow, I just heard something crazy on the weather radio, a new saying that I am just now getting hip to. Stay away or get swept away. And I think they're talking about rivers, but again, this is a considerable flash flood warning. Again, this is our threat is considerable now, which means it's more than average. I think that's more extensions to the flash flood warning that we're getting here. Yep. So again, wait, hold on. Yep, you can hear that. So I apologize about that. But again, this is a considerable flash flood warning. So considerable threat to structures. Floodwaters may start entering structures, and in some cases probably has. Several evacuations and displacements are possible, especially for places along rivers and streams. Not necessarily certain in this situation, but it's getting closer to being that. Several roads are not passable, and that has been 100% confirmed by law enforcement. And this is a life threatening situation, especially to people driving. You cannot drive in floodwaters. And here's the reason why: turn around, don't drown. Again, a lot of times flooded waters or road. A lot of times the water doesn't look as high as it is, and it doesn't take that much water to sweep your car up. But yeah, turn around, don't drown when you encounter flooded roadways. If you are stuck in floodwaters, call 911 right away. If you live in a flood zone, consider evacuating. And if the threat is considerable, like it is, or catastrophic, you must evacuate to high grounds. Especially if you're in a flood zone or on a river, you have to get away. Again, stay away or get swept away. That is a very, very morbid I've never heard of that saying, but it's kind of, I ain't gonna lie, it's kind of genius. But going back to our radar again, this is the amount of rain we have seen since 5:57 a.m. I mean, we are north of a, a foot of rain. Let that sink in, y'all. A foot of rain. 12 inches of rain. Again, this is a pretty big deal. We are dealing with a big time flash flood situation. Um, Cambridge City, they're dealing with significant flash flooding. As the mayor said, more than he has ever, or she, I don't know. I don't know who the mayor is, more than they've ever seen before. Now, looking on our rain mode, we still have just so much more showers moving through. I think it's more showers than what was picked up on the our forecast models, the future track that I was looking at earlier. So I am very worried. This is a significant situation. We're dealing with significant flooding. Some of the worser flooding I've ever seen in this area. Again, I'm not saying that to scare anybody, but again, I also don't want to lie and say that it's no big deal when it is a big deal. As this is a big deal, we have considerable damage threats. Right there, considerable. Now, we can see if I can. Looking at our live view in Connorsville, again, you can't really see any of the flooding through here, but if I can find a camera towards Cambridge City, I think that's going to help a lot, or towards Newcastle. I think that's what we're going to look for next, um, a Newcastle camera. So let me do that real quick. Okay, so our Newcastle camera is trying to load, so we're going to have to wait a minute. Yeah, I don't think that camera is working, sadly. We're gonna go ahead and get on the Indiana traffic cameras and maybe we'll see something. Oh yeah, we do have oh wow. Yeah, no. We actually have snowplow cameras. Oh, that was at 8 a.m., so that's not even accurate for right now. Is that water? There's no way that's water. Hold on. If so, that's pretty significant. Again, I can't tell if that is water between the roads or if that's concrete, but my goodness, if it's look like concrete. Okay, so that is probably just concrete. So we're gonna go ahead and go back to our radar here. I'm trying to find a good camera that we can. Yeah, camera's not available for the pickleball court in Newcastle, so I apologize about that. But again, this area of potentially significant flash flooding is, I mean, it's bad. Actually, looking at, Whoa, hold on, is that flooding? No, that's just a. Well, it might be. Hold on. No, that's just a wet parking lot. But we do have. Let's go take this to live view. And I'll read this. I know you can't read the full thing, but I'll read it for you. Between Dublin Street and Indiana 1 near Cambridge City, look out for flooding. The road is closed. All lanes are closed in both directions of travel, and that's a good call. That's a really good call. So, shout out to who made that call. Again, you don't want to be driving out in floodwaters, but this is our live camera view. As you can see, traffic's pretty slowed down. There might be flooding on the highway. I'm not 100% sure, but we'll go to the double box mode so I can show you basically everything you need to see. Hold on, look. Yeah, I knew that was going to happen. Oh, there was some good close thunder. Okay, I'm noticing something interesting here. So with the shapes of these thunderstorms, they're starting to get that kidney bean shape, and I don't like that. So that could be some inflow right here. Yeah, okay, let me. And there could be outflow coming in on this side. So Newcastle, I guess you want to watch out for that. So what I'm going to go ahead and do, I'm going to keep that like that. Lord have mercy. If you're hearing a phone in the background, yeah, I'll get to that here in a minute. There's definitely light rotation with this. Nothing too significant. So I'm gonna look for the camera near New Libsyn. That's looking east. That's not even looking where I wanted that to look. Alright, I'm going to be right back. Yes. What code? I don't see the code. Alright. 076 or 076796. Alright. If you want to stay posted on the Indiana, whatever, just search up East Indiana flood or whatever, and I'll probably be up there.
Okay, I'll look at it.
See you later, bye.
See you later. Love you. Bye.
Okay, we are going back to our double box mode as we continue tracking our flash flood threat for eastern Indiana and eventual severe weather threat. We also have a strengthening thunderstorm that's going to be near Auglaize, Shelby, and Logan counties. We might actually be dealing with a severe thunderstorm warning here soon. We can let's go ahead and read the winds on that. Let's make sure that that's not spinning, and it's not really spinning much. But looking at our storm in near Newcastle, and I somehow scratched my arm real bad. You can't make this up, I swear. Yeah, it's not rotating much. It's just got a shape to it. Again, that means this is a high base supercell. Supercell being an independent on its own thunderstorm that does rotate, but again, if it's high base, it's not going to produce a tornado. But we can go ahead and look at the different tilt levels. As you can see, it definitely is rotating at higher levels, but once you get to the lower levels, you're good. This is going to be a better way to view it. Right here, see, it's rotating right here. But again, higher level, upper level rotation, not lower level. We could be seeing a hail threat with this storm here in a minute, but I think that's a lot more likely with this storm right here. Let's see, what does it look like on? Yeah, that we might be getting a severe thunderstorm warning here soon. We also have this other storm near Anderson, Indiana, that's got that shape, but not much of that rotation. But again, still the threat remains to be the flash flood threat. And I don't know if y'all heard that, but there's still thunder's just a crack-a-lack-a-lacking on down here. Alright, so again, we have this continuation of these flash flood warnings. With these thunderstorms, Again, these downpours continue. Let's actually, what I'm going to do now is I'm going to go back into flash flood mode, and I'm actually going to look at the total storm accumulation. Again, this is from 6:09 a.m. And clearly, near New Libsyn, where I actually have that camera now, just to the north of there, the camera's about right here, but actually I don't think that camera is. Yeah, that camera's more down this way. But right here, near New Libsyn, just to the north of there, between New Libsyn and Hagerstown, we have readings of more than 12 inches of rain. And that's just since 6 a.m. So, again, very significant flooding situation ongoing. And I'm wondering the um what the flood situation looks like, basically just. Oh, great. The whole weather enterprise is having a meltdown right now. Come on. Oh. So basically, some context to why Twitter is having a meltdown right now. It's because warning systems had major issues yesterday, and now there's a lot of people criticizing National Weather Service. Really, it's the technology that had the issue. I think the workers there have done a fantastic job, especially Wilmington. Wilmington did a great job. I know Louisville did a great job as well, and Charleston. I I don't know. Is that who takes care of Pikeville? Again, I know they had again, very bad failure with the system, but I again, that's technology. Technology can be tricky. I wouldn't blame the people. You just got to make the technology better, and that's what they've been trying to do for years upon years. Trust me, we don't need to tell them to do that. They're gonna do it anyways. Anyways, um, there's a bridge that has collapsed, like a road that has literally sunken in Newcastle, Indiana, and evacuations are underway on Riley Road. Again, I can't use any of the photos, unfortunately, but a road has collapsed in Newcastle, Indiana, and there are currently evacuating Riley Road. That and again, Riley Road is on the south side of Newcastle, the far south side, past the middle and high school. If you don't know where Riley Road is, it's where Riley Elementary School is. Around where Stonegate Village is, around where the lock and storage is, or lock, stock, and storage, the El Chile Poblano, Victory Church, Payne Village Shopping Center, just that whole plaza over there. But yeah, there are full blown evacuations. The only live camera in Newcastle, unfortunately, is not working right now, and it's at the pickleball court. There we go. Now we have our new Libsyn camera. Now, what I'm probably going to have to do here soon, as there's not much more that I can do, I'm probably going to go ahead and head off of here soon. Maybe. Yeah, I think so. If there's a new flash flood warning, I'll be back. But basically, what I'm going to do is get ready for this afternoon's round of severe weather. I think that's the best course of action that we can take. Is look, if you look up in Illinois, we can look at this up here. There is already a tornado warning. So we don't have too much time to prepare for that. We can look at this real quick, why not? But we have another line of thunderstorms that's going to be coming down here. Again, if I hear, and I mean anything, if I hear anything else major that happens with this, any evacuations or anything, I will be on here. But it looks like this rain is just starting to clear up a little bit. Again, there's still going to be some activity around Cambridge City and Newcastle. But I basically got out all the information I can. Again, if you can't escape the flood, call 911. If you can and you're given an evacuation order, you follow that order because it is just for your safety. and avoid flooded roadways. I will be back probably rather sooner than later, but I'll be seeing y'all after a while. So stay safe out there. Have a good one.